values, mission, vision. So we're going to take each of those one at a time, and I'm going to pull up the PowerPoint presentation here. Yep, good. All right, core values. So in the article that you had, the pre-reading, Jim Collins defined core values as a handful of guiding principles by which a company navigates. I love this definition, just in terms of the kind of the metaphor, the picture. A handful of guiding principles by which a company navigates. Essentially, your core values define behavior within your company, how your people behave. They are some people call these your shoulds and your shouldn'ts, what employees should do and what your people should not do. In a way, they define the boundaries for decision-making within your company. A handful of guiding principles by which a company navigates. I'm curious, just show of hands, how many of your companies today have a written set of core values? Yeah, that's good number. All right. So in your reading, Collins provided us with a criteria for core values. What are core values? What's the criteria for core values? Number one, he said, our core values are timeless, meaning they should last us forever. We don't come up with core values for 2021 or for 2022. Our core values should last us for a long period of time. They should be timeless. Next, there's no external justification for our company's core values. No one outside of our company has to approve of or sign off on our core values. They're meant primarily for internal purposes. And in that respect, they should have intrinsic value. Intrinsic meaning they should be meaningful to our team, to our employees. They should be valuable to our people, intrinsic value. Fourth, our core values should be authentic. They should be true to who we are as a company. And I find this is one of the biggest mistakes that companies make when they develop their core values, is they develop core values not for who we are today, but who we want to be. And that's a big mistake. You want to create core values for who you are today. You don't want them to be, the term that's used is aspirational. You don't want your core values to be aspirational. You want them to represent what you believe in today. They should be authentic. Number five, they should be inspirational. They're meant to inspire, not so much to differentiate, but they're meant to inspire your people to do what's possible, to aspire to be something better. And then last, there should be a limited number. I like to see ideally maybe 5 to 7 core values. Sometimes I see less than that. Sometimes I see slightly more. I think any more than 10 to 12 is too many, because I should be able to walk up to any one of your employees and say, okay, what are the core values? And they should be able to list them off one after another. So it should be a limited number of core values. So then, now that we understand the criteria for core values, then the question becomes, so how do we come up with these core values? Should we just maybe survey employees? How do we come up with these core values? Well, Jim Collins was asked this question. How do we come up with our core values? And he was asked this, and I thought his response was interesting. And he said, well, someone said, how do we develop these core values? And he said, you don't develop core values. He said, you discover your core values. You don't develop them. You don't make them up. They're already in place, whether you've written them down or not. Every company has a set of core values. So it's not about developing core values. It's about discovering your core values. So then the question is, so how do we do that? How do we discover our core values? So if you want to turn to the next page in your workbook, it says discovering your core values. Let's look at how we go about doing that. first of all, you see, what do this? These are some examples. These were in your handout, examples of core values from Merck Pharmaceuticals, from Nordstrom, the department store, from Walt Disney, examples of core values. So let's turn to that page where it says discovering your core values. And I'm going to walk you through two different ways, two different techniques for discovering your core values.